I've been out in the garden. It is a beautiful summer day, but it's hot out there, and I was out there for 2 or 3 hours tending to my herbs, and I brought some beautiful herbs in. And I thought, it's lunchtime, maybe time for something I could put in my toaster oven. Something nourishing and something using the fresh tomato I have and the fresh herbs. I have a lot of really great sandwich recipes in my cookbook, Pop It in the Toaster Oven. Where can you buy this book, by the way? Anywhere. Amazon, any place online, a bookstore. It is fully available to you. So, that said is, the sandwich that I'm going to make today is a variation of some of the recipes that I have in my toaster oven. And like so many of the recipes in the Toaster Oven Cookbook, simple, easy ingredients, nothing real fancy, quick to put together, and really nourishing, and many very, very good, flavorful, low-fat recipes are in here. So, I am going to make a broiled tomato sandwich. I'm going to make a spread with mayonnaise and mustard and horseradish, and I'm going to put that on the bread, and then I'm going to chop up some of these beautiful herbs that I have, chives, basil. I'll show them to you in a minute. And I'm going to spread that on. I'm going to slice the tomato. Then I'm going to put some cheese. I think I have a nice extra sharp cheddar cheese. And that's going to be my sandwich. Oh, I have a beautiful selection of herbs here. I've got basil here, chives, oregano, cilantro, parsley, tarragon. So I'm going to take a little bit of each of these, chop them up with a scissor. And what I'm going to do here is just be really inspired. I'm going to take some horseradish. I think probably about a half a teaspoon, and probably about a half a teaspoon of brown mustard, and I'm going to mix that together. And put that aside, and then I'm going to chop up some of these herbs. Probably want about 2 tablespoons. And of course, you know, I could use any fresh herbs. I happen to have these in my garden, and so that's what I'm going to use. And probably if it were a larger amount, I would chop them with a knife, but I'm just going to cut these things up with a scissors. Oh, and here's some cilantro. Oh, that smells so good. And here's some oregano. I have a lot of oregano out there. Want some oregano? And now I'm going to add some parsley. This is beautiful parsley. This is flat leaf. If you don't have any fresh herbs at all, dried herbs will work as well for a sandwich. Or you can get fresh herbs, of course, at the farmer's market. Or many grocery stores have fresh herb selections. Just choose the ones that you like. Oh, you know what else I'm going to add? I have fresh sage. Oh, this is such a wonderful kind of meaty flavor, so I'm going to add that too as well. Sometimes what I do too is when I harvest the herbs, I lay them out and I let them dry. And I have a little coffee mill I use to grind them all together. And I do these wonderful combinations of dried herbs. Just put them all together, the basil, the tarragon, the oregano. I would say that that's about 2 tablespoons right there. So now I'm going to add that. I think a fly came in with this from the garden. It is summer. Oh, I think that's going to be quite lovely. This, I'm going to slice this tomato fairly thin. If you have a serrated knife, that will work really well. Or this is actually just a carbon blade, which works pretty well too. Not high carbon, just carbon. There's my tomato slices. And yeah, this is an extra sharp cheddar cheese. Just a cheese I got at the grocery store. Nothing really fancy, but it's going to add a wonderful flavor. Now let's assemble this sandwich here. So I'm going to put the mayo on first. Like that. And just spread it out on the bread. This is like a whole wheat bread. It's got some seeds in it, which is kind of nice too, some flax seeds and everything. I think I'm going to put the cheese on next. Now you can go to a fast food place and get a burger, or you can make a sandwich like this, and I think you would be a lot better off. Last but not least, a little kosher salt, I think, would be nice. Oh, this smells really good, especially the cilantro is really coming through. And then just a twist of freshly grated pepper. Now, I think this is ready to go into the toaster. I have the rack just about in the middle. This is what I usually use. I don't have the toaster oven on yet. I'm just loading those pieces of bread in. And now I'm going to do one toast cycle. Now, my toast cycle is set for 2 slices of bread. And in this case, what I'll do is after I toast it, I'll look at it. If I want it a little more done, I'll do another toast cycle. Toast cycle is done. And that looks pretty good. I don't know if the cheese is all that melted yet. I think what I'm going to do is do another toast cycle. Oh, yeah. That looks great. Smells wonderful. I'm going to cut these in quarters. It'll just be easier to eat, I think. Well, I have my tea here. This is, by the way, a refrigerator brewed tea. If you take a 2-quart container and fill it with, I use filtered water, and then I put in 6 tea bags of my favorite tea, and then just close it up, put it to the back of the refrigerator. In a couple days, you get this wonderful, really strongly flavored but not bitter tea that's very good. And if you add sugar, of course, you have sweet tea, which is even better. Boy, it's that good. I know we all like burgers and fries. They're going to be the death of us. The tomato gets sweet and tender. The cheese is beautifully melted. And of course the mayo spread with herbs give a wonderful complexity to this. Little bit of cilantro here, little bit of basil there. It's really a very, very nice sandwich. There's so much you can do with a toaster oven that you can't do with a regular toaster, like something like this. And it's much more convenient than using your big oven. A toaster oven is small, it's accessible, and it doesn't take a lot of energy. I would give this a try. There's no end to the variations of this, many of which are in my Pop It in the Toaster Oven cookbook. Have a good lunch today. Have a nourishing lunch. And give a good nourishing lunch to your kids. And if you're older, like me, you owe it to yourself to eat well. Eat well, live longer.